Hello, everybody, and welcome to Jackie Chan-uary.
Second episode.
Yeah.
2025.
Yes, and we're looking at a movie from 2005, 20 years ago.
Oh, yes, 20 years ago.
From the team that brought us Rumble in the Bronx comes a worst movie. Leave a like.
Yeah, that's right. Stanley Tong. Yeah.
Yes, directed by Stanley Tong, starring Jackie Chan. It's currently on Netflix, The Myth, 2005.
Yeah.
Now, this is the first time I'm watching this film, Tom.
I'd never seen it either.
So you watched this movie before me, and then after you watched it, you're like, oh yeah, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I think you lied to me. I think it's pretty bad, Tommy.
I think this movie is pretty bad, but I still think it's not as bad as I was expecting it to be.
All right.
It's still pretty
All
bad.
right, we'll talk about it. So this movie is starring Jackie Chan, but also starring Kim Hee-Sun, Korean actress. Are you familiar with this actress? She's pretty famous, right?
I think she was quite famous in the 90s. I had a quick wiki, but I haven't really seen many of her works.
Okay. Looks like a bunch of dramas that I have not seen.
And never will.
Yeah. So
Oh no, I've seen Bichinmu a long time ago, actually.
What you call me?
It's kind of another. Bichinseokya. It's called Bichinmu, and
Okay.
it's like a Korean wuxia film, I
Yeah.
guess, is the best way to. And I saw it on SBS a long time ago, and yeah, she was the lead. That was a cool movie, from what I remember.
I'm just looking at this picture for a TV show, I think, called Men of the Bathhouse. And it just looks like an Asian Robin Williams.
Men of the Bathhouse.
Yeah.
So the title sounds funny. But we're not here to talk about Men of the Bathhouse.
No.
We're here to talk about The Myth, which is not a great movie, but like I had seen some pretty scathing reviews about this movie. But it's a movie that was not very popular in the West, but apparently very popular in China because it's spawned 2 sequels and a TV series.
You know what? This movie goes to India at one point, and while I was watching those scenes, I inevitably thought, wow, this movie is giving a lot of Kung Fu yoga vibes. And I just thought I was making that Indian connection. But one of the sequels is Kung Fu Yoga. This movie is a predecessor to Kung Fu Yoga.
Yeah. I
So
remember
weird.
hearing about Kung Fu Yoga. I thought, man, this looks fucking terrible. And it's just like, I had no idea that it was related to The Myth. I didn't even know The Myth was a time traveling movie, essentially. Because I remember when I was in high school, I would see it available at JB and I'd look at it and it'd be him with the general's armor.
Yeah.
And then just like, I
So
thought
you
it was like a
a
classic
period.
Yeah, I thought it was a period piece. And like, this movie is very convoluted.
Maybe there's a little bit too much going on.
Too much going on and maybe too ambitious for the budget that they had. There's some very questionable CGI in this movie.
I was immediately put offside in the opening scene, Tavi, where there's these CGI fireballs and it's like
CGI
rolling down a
and a
hill.
horse kicks it.
And the horse kicks it. I'm like, oh man, that looks bad.
When I did see that horse kick the CGI ball, I was like, ooh, this is going to be bad.
Yeah.
But there are some very classic Jackie Chanisms in this movie that I still enjoyed. And I did actually enjoy watching the contrast of Jackie Chan's character in the present and him in the past. So the storyline is in the past, he's like a general who kind of falls in love with a Korean concubine who he's supposed to deliver to the emperor, but she's like, nah, I want to like be chummy with you. And
She's
he's like, "Yeah,
inexplicably
cool,"
in
but-
love with him.
yeah, like there's no build up to it, but she just loves him.
Yeah.
But then in the present, he is like
He's an archaeologist named Jack.
Jack. So basically Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
So I do like seeing the contrast of Jackie Chan fights and him as a general because you see him like kill people quite brutally. Like some of the action scenes where it's basically Dynasty warriors, like chops off some guy's head, chops off the guy's arm.
I didn't like any of that stuff. I could have gone without
Really?
all of the period stuff, to be honest. Like aside from the production design, which I quite like. I like all the armor and like all the people running around in the big battles, which we'll talk about.
Yeah.
But there's a bloodless beheading in this film. Like there's it's a Jackie Chan movie, but like just don't put beheading in it. I reckon if you're not gonna put a bit of blood in there.
There was a little bit of blood. I thought it was like quite violent, even though it was CGI blood. Like when he was like slashing guys, like there'd be like sprays of blood. I'm like, oh, I mean, for me, it was just interesting to see like Jackie Chan like kill people in a fight.
Yeah.
And like kind of not actually be Jackie Chan.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's kind of at odds with Jackie Chan's regular kind of movie and regular kind of tone, I guess, which I never could really get on board. Like, I get it. Like, I understand that it is something different, but I don't know. I just found it really hard to get. It's kind of like when we were watching The Foreigner, and The Foreigner, for those that haven't seen it, is going for a Taken style of film where it's a darker
But
tone.
then it's like Jackie Chan.
Yeah, and it's Jackie Chan there, and it just doesn't fit. And that's kind of how I felt with all of the period stuff in this film.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah.
And a lot of it feels very contrived as well. Like the opening scene, the carriage that the princess is in kind of goes halfway off a cliff, and then Jackie's trying to get the princess out, but then he kind of just gives up getting the princess out and instead just tries to hold the carriage with his own body weight. And then a guy comes who's on the opposing army.
He's like Korean, or the Korean guy or something.
Yeah, Choi Min-soo, who I assumed was going to be in this movie more, but he's not.
Just dies.
Yeah. So he's like, oh, actually, I want the princess to live as well. But instead of pulling the carriage to safety, they just have a fight while holding the carriage with 2 ropes. So the princess is in mortal danger throughout this fight, even though both of them want her to live. And then, I don't know, it's just a bit stupid.
Yeah, it is
there's a
dumb.
point where the princess gives him this look like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Pull me out, guys. And then have your little fight.
They're gonna have ego love battle. It's called character building of love.
Which would have been fine in a later scene, but this is the first scene in the film.
The first scene of the movie. Yeah.
And they all go off the cliff.
I think there's just too much going on.
Sure.
Because you're right, the love between General Ming, which is Jackie Chan in the past,
Let's call him General Jackie.
General Jackie and Kim Hee-Sun, it's not earned. They just like each other. That's it.
I have a note that I wrote down in this film pretty early in the film. The note just says, I hate the princess.
Why?
Not the actress. I think the actress is doing fine, but the character is a nothing character. She's just one of these characters that is...
she's very much a nothing.
She's just there
right.
to look sad and just be like a sad damsel. And I hate this kind of character. And you see it fairly often, more often than you should, in K-dramas, I'm going to say. Because I haven't watched many Chinese dramas, but I see it a lot in K-dramas.
Oh, no, there's a lot in Chinese dramas as well. My mum's watched a few, so...
They're very inactive characters. They don't really do anything. They're more of a plot device than a character.
Yeah, well, it is the apt criticism of it's definitely a female character written by a guy.
Not to be woke or anything, but I just find them very uninteresting.
Yeah.
But anyway, they love each other. And present day Jackie wakes up from the dream that he's having. So he's having dreams about this woman that he doesn't know. And he's an archaeologist and he's trying to figure out what's going on with these dreams. And that's when his friend approaches him. His deadbeat friend, William.
Yeah, played by Tony Leung Ka-Fai. He's also quite popular in the Hong Kong scene. I've seen him in a bunch of films as well. Yeah. Not to be mistaken with the other Tony Leung, I guess.
Yeah.
They look very different, but they have the same. I guess that's why he has to call him Ka-Fai.
Yeah.
It's not Tony Leung.
It's like a Michael Douglas, Michael Keaton situation. But yes, his deadbeat friend comes along and he's like, I'm a scientist and you're a scientist, but we're in different fields. But I need you to help me go to this tomb because there's some gravity-defying stuff going on. So they go to this tomb together and it's in India. Like the previous film that we talked about, Wheels on Meals, it's hard to tell whether these characters are anti-heroes or not. Because Jack, as he goes by, he goes on about how he's got ethics as an archaeologist, right? It comes up a number of times in this film.
But then he just does it. He's like, nah, I've got a moral code, man. Oh, come on, please. It's like, all right.
All right, I'll just do it. I'll just go desecrate this tomb.
Please.
They cripple the floating Indian man. Just falls out of the sky.
I was watching this fight sequence. I'm like, I feel bad for these Indian guys. They're just protecting their temple.
They're just trying to protect their national treasures. They're just trying to figure out why their guru fell out of the sky and has a concussion probably. To be fair, it is more his friend that's doing the damage. His friend has the idea to take the meteorite, and it is kind of his friend's idea to take the sword and the picture of the princess as well. And then his friend also ditches him in the helicopter and leaves him to die.
It's not even that hard. It's it's too far. I can't do it.
Stones. They're throwing stones. Who knew that they could do that?
But I enjoy a lot of these fight scenes that are in the present because it's classic Jackie Chan.
They're pretty fun.
Because there's a bit of swordplay.
There's some good weapons fights in this movie.
Well, he comes across another Indian group.
A bunch of babes, Tavi. A bunch of babes pull him out of the river.
Yeah, that's true. A bunch of babes do pull him out of the river. And then one of the babes rescues him, and she and Jackie share a fight scene between a few Indian police officers.
That scene is so stupid as well. it's fun.
It's stupid, but it's fun.
So they run away from the cops, right? And then like the
Yeah.
girls come and do a dance to like distract the cops. And then it pans over to Jackie, and he's fucking sitting there playing a kazoo. Wasn't the point of the distraction for him to run away? It's just fucking...
It's fucking silly.
It's pretty funny. But no, the glue scene follows that, right? The glue scene is fun. I like that scene.
It's fun, yeah. It's quite well choreographed. That's probably like the last good fight scene in the present.
So the story kind of intercuts between the past and the present.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
kind of like the narrative device that's driving this film. Because whenever Jackie falls off a cliff or gets injured, he kind of flashes back to the past, and you get a bit more of General Jackie's story. General Jackie's story is basically he rescues the princess. They do a bit more falling in love. The princess stitches one of his wounds with the strand of her hair and her hairpin. I'm like, ooh, don't do that. That's gonna get infected.
That's like General Big died of sepsis.
Yeah, from a greasy strand of hair. Her hair's probably pretty clean for the time. But yeah, they do a bit more falling in love, and then the Emperor sends General Jackie to get something called the immortality pill because he's really sick.
It kind of just comes out of nowhere. So there's like this immortality pill, and then he goes to get it from a guy who's also trying to get it, but he's under the Emperor's will as well, but then he thinks that they're lying or something.
Well, I think he's a rebel. I think he's actually rebelling against the Emperor.
Yeah.
So he's trying to get...
because like there's a bit where Jackie Chan hears the Emperor's decree, like, you should stop this, and the guy's like, how dare you fake?
You're full of shit, mate. Yeah, but I think that was just an excuse for him to not obey.
Yeah.
But luckily, Jackie has like a loyal follower. He's got a bunch of loyal followers though, so they managed to get their hands on the immortality pill. But their band gets kind of taken out by archers, and a big ballista shoots through his horse.
Yeah, his own Shadowfax, which is called Black Wind, but not as good as Shadowfax.
Because he gets killed. I mean, he does a couple of back kicks.
Oh, yeah. So
that's the scene where like you kind of see a bit of the budget, like the big battle scene, right? There's a lot of bodies.
Yeah. I was going to say with the horse, like when it's doing the back kicking stuff.
Yeah.
It's like a combination of pretty bad CG as
Yeah,
well.
there's some pretty shonky compositing. And he does it a bit too much as well. He does like the back kick 3 or 4 times.
But like, yeah, we basically have like a Dynasty Warriors send off where Jackie Chan kills a legion of guys.
Yeah.
And he's like standing on a pile of bodies, and I thought that was pretty cool because you never see like Jackie Chan kill that many people.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty good imagery, but the way that it's cut together is pretty bad. There's kind of like fade outs and stuff. I don't know. It just doesn't look very good. But yeah, I do appreciate the imagery of him standing on a mountain of corpses and like everybody afraid of him because of that.
The rebel guy. It's funny, because I watched this movie right after I'd watched Gladiator 2, and there's always just that guy with the bow and arrow.
Yeah,
just
the ratty guy with the bow and arrow.
It's just like
just waiting for his chance to be a rat.
Man, if you were an archer in any media form, video game or movie, you were just like a rat. I'm sorry, Robin Hood fans.
Well, Legolas is the outlier, I think, because he's in there.
Yeah.
He's in there still.
Man.
But if you're standing in the back with a bow and arrow, you're a rat, a low dog.
Because like in Gladiator 2, it's just how like the bad guy just needed to end something, just like pass you an arrow.
Yeah.
And like everyone is just an expert at bow and arrow, I suppose.
Yeah, because that's what they do, Tommy. They practice for the opportunity to just do a ratty thing.
It's like everyone's just like an expert when the plot needs it to be. This is especially with fucking Legolas, you know. He's like fucking like shooting arrows between his legs and riding horses and shooting arrows at the same time, but he can't shoot one fucking Urukai who's running in a straight line, but like he can't do that.
Also, there's more than one archer, Aragorn. Ask some other people to take that guy down as well. Why is it all going to be Legolas? He's probably gassed. He's done a lot this battle. But anyway, back to the myth.
The myth, yeah.
So yes, modern day Jack, he reunites with his dog of a friend, William. And there's a reveal before that where William is working for this other archaeologist.
This other evil looking guy.
And I thought this guy was going to be Choi Min-soo, because Choi Min-soo is a big actor in Korea, so I assumed he was going to come back, but it's just some guy.
Just some guy.
It's just some guy.
That would have been a good choice, actually. Yeah.
They have implied history together, but you don't know what that history is. There's bad blood between them.
He's just some guy who wants
just some
power.
guy who's really good at fighting as well, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, just suddenly really good at fighting, but is also very easily defeated.
So Jack hears about a cave from his friend, the cave is from his dreams, apparently. It's a cave blocked by a waterfall. So Jack does a bit of spelunking. He wears a pretty cool outfit. It's kind of like hockey pads, but cooler, I guess. Terrible CGI on that cave dive, by the way.
The thing about the cave scene, because he comes across his love, Kim Hee-Sun, I guess, who's like been waiting for him this whole time. I think the one thing that most people probably remember is actually the song that comes from that scene where they reunite.
Yeah, we finally get to hear the song. So you sold this movie to me with this song, Tavi. This movie was not on my radar, and you're like, we should watch this movie because I heard the song's good. And I'm like, yeah, good enough reason for me.
The song is too good for what the movie's quality is. The song is kind of trying to encompass what it wants people to feel, but the movie is not good enough for it to feel. I think the imagery here is really nice. And I think if the movie was good, this could have been like a really epic moment, kind of like a rekindling of love across generations. Like, I think it's a beautiful sentiment, but the relationship between the princess and General Ming is not built up enough.
Yeah.
And the princess is a nothing character.
It's no past lives. I'll say that.
Yeah.
But the song is the best part of this film. It's called Endless Love. And it's performed in both Mandarin and Korean by the two leads, Jackie Chan and Kim Hee-Sun.
It's a really good song. Like, I don't recommend the movie, but I recommend the song. Go listen to the song and imagine a better version of this movie, the big budgeted version of this movie that they could probably pull off these days, because Chinese movies are really expensive now. So I think they can do it. I think it's just the limitation at the time.
Yeah, it's got some pretty 2000s effects in it.
Yeah, 2000s is a weird era for CGI, because Lord of the Rings set the bar, but then other movies sort of tried to do it, but it was still a little bit uncanny.
And this is a movie coming out of Hong Kong as well, so like
they don't have the
budgets or the technology. They don't have the
resources,
available.
the budget. Yeah.
Like you just have to watch Dragon Tiger Gate and you can see that. Like it was the era where CGI was available, so they wanted to use it a lot, but they probably shouldn't. Like Shanghai Nights came out 2 years before this film, and when you consider all of the practical elements involved in Shanghai Nights and you go 2 years forward in time and you get this movie, you're like, oh man, you really lose a lot of the magic of a Jackie Chan film when it's kind of drowned in green screen and CGI.
Yeah. Like, I prefer Asian cinema over a lot of Hollywood cinema, but it is what it is. CGI
has never been the strong suit in Asian cinema.
Yeah.
But Jack, he gets taken to an underground floating mausoleum where he learns that the general second in command and the princess have been kept alive by the immortality pill. They find out that while they have been living in this cave for the past hundreds of years, Jack is not immortal. He is actually a reincarnation of the general, or so it seems. And then the present day bad guy busts in. I don't even know the bad guy's name, to be honest.
He's just busts evil, ratty looking guy.
He reveals his evil plan to profit from the meteorite technology as well as the historical artifacts in the mausoleum or something. I think maybe he wants the immortality juice as well.
Does he know that the immortality pill is there?
He does, because that's what he goes after in the end. That's what gets him killed, I guess. General Jackie's second in command jumps in for a bit of a fight, but he gets shot in the hand.
What is this?
A gun.
What is this new weaponry?
And then he has a fight with the main bad guy, and like the main bad guy is inexplicably good at fighting. Like this. So this second in command, right? He's been trained as a soldier, and this is before he took the immortality pill. And then after taking the immortality pill, he has had hundreds of years with nothing to do but train.
But train.
And he gets his ass kicked by this scientist guy.
It's just a professor.
I don't know.
No, the thing is, because like the second in command hasn't been able to advance with all the new discoveries about fighting, so he doesn't know.
Yeah, he doesn't know about BJJ.
He doesn't know about BJJ and MMA, even though that guy's not using BJJ or MMA.
Yeah, I guess he's probably lost a bit of muscle mass and bone density as well, because he's been living in like zero gravity for a while.
Yeah, that's true. There's a bit where Jackie Chan has a fight scene with a bunch of goons, and it really does not look very good.
It's not as fun as it should be. It's like a zero gravity fight, but it feels real.
But it
feels real slow.
Yeah, it
feels akin to a bubble fight, Tavi.
I think the bubble fight is better than this fight. to be honest.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah.
Because they're like in a nothing space as well. It's just like a green screen space. It's just not very interesting to look at.
Yeah, and I think the tone of it feels off. And this is where the two conflicting storylines have issues in terms of style, because it's supposed to be like an epic moment or whatever, but then he's doing like sort of comedic routines fighting with the guys, so it's weird. And then the second in command guy, he just gets beaten by the dude.
By the archaeologist, yes. And then Jackie jumps in and it's archaeologist versus archaeologist, like you've never seen before, except for probably an Indiana Jones film.
Did they actually fight?
Yeah, there's a bit of a fight. They do a bit of like Wing Chun Chi Sao.
I think I barely remember.
It's not very good though.
Yeah, because like William, he finds this basically the Abu diamond, which if you like touch it, it'll fuck everything up.
Yeah, it's a meteorite.
Oh yeah, it's a meteorite. But he doesn't even touch it. Like someone just bumps into it, and then he's like, and the thing just crushes him.
And then a big CGI pearl hits the floor, and the cave starts to collapse.
And then the mercury starts swallowing him up, and then like Jackie Chan goes to like save him and quits his fight midway through.
Yeah.
And then the guy, the archaeologist guy, he's looking for the pill. He knows where it is, and there's a really long staircase up to go get it, right? By this point, everyone has mastered the art of levitation. Yeah. So knowing that probably the cave is going to crash very soon, decides to just walk up the stairs very slowly to get this pill when time is of the essence.
It's just bad guy stuff, Tavi.
And he gets to the final staircase and it's collapsing. And then he gets pulled down by Jackie Chan's second. And he's like, it's like, if only I had floated up there, if I had taken my time. I should have just fucking used my levitation. There was no reason for me not to use the levitation. I could have got out of here.
Speaking of poor decisions, so the cave is collapsing. Jackie's friend drowns in a CGI puddle, and then Jackie tries to convince the princess to leave with him because the cave is collapsing. The princess is like, nah, I'm gonna stay because you're not the real general. I'm gonna wait for the real general. I'm like, bitch, this is as real as you're gonna get. This is like the closest thing you're gonna get to this guy that you love. Just leave, man.
Just get the fuck out of there. Like, just go enjoy modern technology. The general's dead. Even if she did survive, she didn't take the pill. Like, she would have seen him come and take the pill. You know?
Even if he didn't die in that battle, he would have died a long time ago.
I was like, no, I don't believe you. Man, if I was Jackie Chan's character, I would
have pulled out my iPhone, Tavi, and looked up the general that she loves and just gone, look, this is Wikipedia. This is a smartphone, by the way. It's got all of the world's knowledge in it. This guy's dead. He's definitively dead. It says so in Wikipedia.
And she's like, no. How dare you deceive me with this?
But yeah, I didn't enjoy this movie, Tavi. I was expecting it to be bad, and I was still disappointed.
No, I did enjoy it a little bit. I still think it's a pretty bad movie, but I don't know. I was expecting something like much, much worse than what I got. Like, I was expecting like the Tuxedo.
I think the Tuxedo is leagues better than this film. Leagues.
Tuxedo's pretty bad though.
This film's atrocious, Darby. I don't know. Like, I will give it to them that there's some practical wire work in there. That's probably pretty dangerous. There's some like behind the scenes stuff in the credits.
Yeah, even the behind the
rolling.
scenes stuff is like not that good either, because it's just like a mixed feeling. It's like you've got the epic song, but then it's the lightheartedness of the outtakes. So it's just conflicting.
And the actress getting injured.
Injured
because of faulty
again.
Equipment.
Yeah.
That's movie making though.
Yeah, it's filmmaking, 2005. 20 years anniversary of the bid.
Yeah. I mean, anyway, I don't have much to say. It's on Netflix if you want to watch it, but I wouldn't recommend it.
Go check out Endless Love.
Yeah, check out the song. And if you're interested in watching the sequel content, then maybe watch this film.
And if anyone has actually seen the TV series, like, is the TV series actually any good?
Yeah, what is it?
Curious.
Let us know.
Because I honestly don't think the premise of this movie is bad. I think it's a very classic Chinese romantic premise, but just not executed very well in this movie. I didn't hate it as much as you, but I still think it's a pretty bad movie.
But yeah, thanks again for listening to another installment of Jackie Chan-uary. Here is a hint to what we are looking at next week.
Victoria Market.
Can you get to central Melbourne?
Yes, I can.
hopefully a better movie than this one. And if you enjoyed this episode of Jackie Chan-uary, maybe check out our weekly podcast, Two Asian Blokes, where we talk about Asian pop culture. Available everywhere you get your podcasts. Until next time, though, guys, we'll catch you later for another installment of Jackie Chan-uary.
See ya. Bye.
I'm gonna listen to that song again.
Yeah.
Yeah.